Hi, I'm Joe, and on this spoiler-free episode of Rookie Review, I'll be reviewing Drew Pearce's Hotel Artemis. Based off the trailer, I wondered whether this movie, full of criminals, hidden hideouts, and an interconnected world full of codenames and hitmen, was just going to step on the toes of fan favourite underworld crime movie John Wick. And though the setting of the Artemis does feel familiar and not wholly original, the story it tries to tell and the characters that check in are very much unique. The movie is set in LA in the near future of 2028, in a hotel run by Jodie Foster's The Nurse. The hotel's sole purpose is to act as a secret hideout, so that injured criminals can be patched up and sent on their way. This is a very cool premise and offers something different in this summer season full of superheroes and over-the-top disaster movies. However, the dystopian futuristic setting's only purpose seems to be so the criminals have cool pieces of tech, and that wondrous can-do-it-all medical cures can play an important part in the plot. The backdrop of a rioting LA and civil unrest due to the privatisation of water seems to try and give this movie gravitas and an important social message. But the fact it never delves into this subplot, and it purely acts as nothing more than a faceless, obscure danger to the characters, makes it feel as though Pearce dropped the ball with having his movie stand up and have something worthwhile to say, either about the infamous riots of LA's past, or maybe what could be right around the corner with the political turmoil in the USA at the moment. And this is a problem that permeates throughout the entire movie. There are so many plot threads attached to each character, and dramatic conflicts and moments that are set up with absolutely no payoff or reason. The pieces are all there for Hotel Artemis to have been one of the must-see, cult-cool movies of the year, from funky codenames to Dave Bautista playing a tough night nurse, to Jeff Goldblum's The Wolf King. My god, this movie could have been amazing. However, the disparate pieces never come together to form a cohesive whole, which is really disappointing and a shame, as when you consider the ensemble cast this movie has to play with, it should have been and could have been the most electric Tarantino-esque movie of the year. But instead, I feel like due to the movie not even being aware of its own directional purpose, it will fade from cinema screens and our memories pretty quickly. It seems, regardless of gender, every old-school Hollywood actor is getting their blood and guts crime movie to headline. It started with Liam Neeson and Taken, but Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, and now even Jodie Foster have got in on the action. The emotional turmoil Foster's character faces in this movie is not crafted with as much subtlety or delicacy that the director was probably going for, as it comes off as very on the nose, while later on in the movie, the actions and decisions the nurse decides to take make no logical sense considering her issues with anxiety. A lot of the drama between the other characters seems to be just giving the explanation of their criminals, so they're alpha assholes. Nothing more, nothing less. And you'll be spending the majority of the movie's runtime trying to guess and piece together the backstories of all the characters and their tenuous ties, which can begin to get quite frustrating. In an ensemble filled to the brim with experienced and brilliant actors, it is the ex-wrestler turned Guardian of the Galaxy Dave Bautista that shines the most. Though his character, suitably named Everest, and his blunt sense of humour seems to lend a great deal of its charm and timing from Bautista's Drax character from the MCU, it's the emotional respect and dependency between Everest and Foster's nurse which really allows Bautista to show off his nuanced acting chops, showing the world he can play more than just the muscle. Though by God does that man have muscle. On the whole, most of the characters have some level of progression and development, though it varies from character to character with regards to how natural that evolution feels. But on the whole, no one character overshadows the others, as each character feels different enough to stand out when need be. With Sofia Boutella's niece being the cool kick-ass assassin, and Sterling K. Brown's Waikiki playing the empathetic, relatable crook. If you think that Hotel Artemis is just an action fest from start to finish, it's actually surprisingly sparse with regards to action, considering its genre and how it was marketed. However, this isn't a critique of the movie, as instead of the character's only purpose being to shoot guns, punch and kill, the movie actually seems to act like a character study, looking into the multiple personalities that inhabit this world, as well as their personal dramas. The majority of the movie's runtime is dedicated to building up the tension of the arrival of the big bad Wolf King, Jeff Goldblum. However, Goldblum seems completely miscast in this role, meaning all the build-up and tension feels for nothing. Don't get me wrong, Jeff Goldblum is a delight and eccentrically brilliant in every movie he appears in, especially in the last few years. But that's the problem. Goldblum doesn't instill fear or dread, but rather offbeat humour and whimsy, to the point you wonder whether their aura surrounding the arrival of the Wolf King was just one big elaborate joke, especially as his impact on the actual proceedings of the movie is minimal. This movie doesn't rush to get to its energetic finale, though that's not to say this is a boring movie. It's in the last third that the majority of the action takes place, as the pace goes from 0 to 100. And though not excessive or totally fulfilling considering the amount of build-up, it can be gory when it chooses to be, meaning adrenaline junkies should get something out of this movie, just probably not as much as they would have hoped for, as the pace of this movie is quite leisurely, which does help to keep you engaged from start to finish, without it pulling the trigger too early or too often. However, the biggest crime this movie is guilty of is that it simply thinks it's cooler than it is. Yes, the Artemis is a golden era Hollywood Art Deco delight, but it's oppressed by darkness for the entire movie, and I don't think it'll stand the test of time like The Shining's Overlook Hotel. Yes, this movie acts more like a criminal character study than a dumb action shoot 'em up, but the characters are nowhere near as interesting or dynamic as the crew from Reservoir Dogs. And yes, there is a certain level of cool 70s tension and drama, but it's not as taut or exciting as Assault on Precinct 13, though the soundtrack does deserve praise. Based off the final scenes, this is clearly a movie that wants a sequel and additional world building. And though this would be a world that I think would benefit from further expansion, and I would welcome a return back to the seedy crime-ridden world, based off the movie's current box office, that sadly doesn't seem to be a possibility. Based on my review, it may sound like I'm really down about this movie, but I'm not. It was an enjoyable and at times unique and original, and at the very least, offered up something different to the blockbuster scene. However, based on the trailer, the premise, and the pedigree of the cast, this is a movie that could have been so much more, a true hidden gem of 2018, but alas, it was only a valiant though at times underwhelming effort, and though not a waste of your time, I'm holding out hope that Drew Goddard's Bad Times at the El Royale fulfills on its promise of being the coolest movie of the year, while Hotel Artemis will just have to settle for a participation medal. I therefore give Hotel Artemis 3 out of 5 rookie reels. Well, that was our review. Tell us what you thought in the comments below, and make sure to like, share and subscribe, as well as check out our other movie reviews of the best and worst that 2018 has had to offer so far. Bye now. Are we recording? Are we on? With the political turmoil. Why have my voice do that? I don't understand. The ensemble cast. Criminal. Ooh, that's criminal. Liked what you saw and have an interest for travel and adventure? Check out our other YouTube channel, Roamin Rookies, as we travel across 14 countries in an 11-month whirlwind of fun and excitement. Just click here or the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.